The Trump Bitcoin vision versus CBDCs. The start of a new currency revolution. Listen to the full version on the official dinarreport.com website and become our supporter on Patreon. Awake in 3D November 9, 2024. Why Trump's Bitcoin vision could reshape U.S. finance and challenge traditional currency systems worldwide. The Trump Bitcoin vision could represent a turning point for American financial policy, challenging the global dominance of centralized digital currencies and introducing Bitcoin as a strategic national asset. By promoting a national strategic Bitcoin reserve and opposing central bank digital currencies, CBDCs, Trump's proposal aims to secure greater economic independence for the U.S. and encourage a new approach to financial sovereignty. This article discusses how Trump's stance on Bitcoin over CBDCs might redefine the role of digital assets in America, with potential ripple effects across the global economy. Understanding the Trump Bitcoin vision as a strategic asset. Trump's plan would place Bitcoin at the heart of the U.S. economy by establishing a national strategic Bitcoin reserve. An unprecedented move for a nation traditionally reliant on fiat currency and precious metals as reserve assets. By backing the nation's wealth with Bitcoin, Trump aims to reinforce the dollar's strength while providing a buffer against inflationary pressures. Historically, strategic reserves in commodities like gold and oil have served to bolster national security and economic stability. In pledging a Bitcoin reserve, Trump is signaling a desire to reframe the U.S. reserve strategy around digital assets, potentially redefining financial security in the 21st century. This proposal raises fundamental questions. Could Bitcoin, as a decentralized asset, bring new stability to the American economy? Would other countries follow the U.S. lead in recognizing cryptocurrency as a strategic reserve asset? A departure from CBDCs. Trump's promise to ban digital fiat. In tandem with a Bitcoin reserve, Trump's plan includes a full-scale ban on central bank digital currencies, CBDCs. A move that reflects his stance against centralized digital assets. CBDCs, digital versions of traditional fiat currencies managed by central banks, are being explored worldwide as a means to modernize monetary policy and control currency in a digital age. However, Trump argues that such currencies centralize control, limit personal financial sovereignty, and ultimately work against individual freedom and decentralized financial principles. A ban on CBDCs would represent a direct counterpoint to the current global trend. Countries like China, the European Union, and Canada are advancing in CBDC development, hoping these digital currencies will help modernize their economies. However, the Trump Bitcoin vision signals a fundamentally different approach. One in which digital currency can exist independently of government and bank control, restoring the power of choice and privacy to individuals. By positioning Bitcoin as the digital currency of choice for Americans, and rejecting the centralized oversight that defines CBDCs, Trump could foster a form of economic freedom that encourages self-sovereignty and independence. This approach could also inspire similar policies in countries wary of centralized digital currencies, potentially weakening the international momentum towards CBDCs and creating new avenues for cryptocurrency adoption. Implications for global currency reset and revaluation of currencies. Trump's vision, if enacted, catalyzes a global currency reset, GCR, by recalibrating how digital assets are valued relative to fiat currencies. Traditionally, global currency value has been anchored by the US dollar, supported by foreign reserves and global confidence. With the introduction of Bitcoin as a strategic asset, the valuation mechanisms of currencies worldwide could be disrupted, potentially triggering an international revaluation, RV, of fiat and crypto alike. 1. Strengthening U.S. influence through Bitcoin reserves. Should the U.S. amass significant Bitcoin reserves, it would likely strengthen its economic position relative to other nations, particularly those that have embraced CBDCs. The U.S. dollar's role as the global reserve currency may be tested, but Bitcoin could serve as a complementary asset that underpins a new form of financial influence. 2. Global interest in cryptocurrencies over fiat. With the Trump Bitcoin vision, other countries may face pressure to reevaluate their reserve strategies and consider adding Bitcoin or other cryptocurrencies to their portfolios. Such a shift could destabilize traditional fiat currency reliance, prompting a revaluation across the board as countries reassess the value of their reserves. 3. Challenges for CBDC adopting nations. As the US pivots towards Bitcoin, countries with CBDCs may face unexpected challenges, such as increased interest in decentralized cryptocurrencies by their own citizens. The appeal of self-custodied Bitcoin, which provides independence from banks and central authorities, could draw citizens away from CBDCs, particularly in regions where distrust of government-controlled currencies is already high. Repercussions for financial privacy and sovereignty. Trump's anti-CBDC stance is also rooted in a philosophy of financial privacy and personal control. A Bitcoin-centric financial model would empower citizens to store their wealth without intermediary institutions, enabling individuals to be their own bank. This approach appeals to the rising demand for financial sovereignty, allowing individuals to protect their assets independently of the financial elite and governmental influence. The promise of privacy through Bitcoin ownership, free from government oversight, contrasts sharply with CBDCs, which could offer central banks unprecedented access to citizens' financial behavior. For those concerned with data privacy and government overreach, Bitcoin offers an alternative that balances digital access with personal freedom. However, this also presents potential challenges. Financial systems without intermediaries, like banks, make enforcement of anti-money laundering (AML) and counter-terrorism financing (CTF) regulations difficult. Policymakers would need to strike a delicate balance between maintaining regulatory oversight and preserving the benefits of self-custodied assets. America's path to Bitcoin leadership. Trump's proposals go beyond policy rhetoric. They position the US as a potential leader in the global cryptocurrency movement. In supporting domestic Bitcoin mining and removing custodial restrictions, Trump is setting the stage for a flourishing domestic Bitcoin ecosystem. These policies could foster a competitive environment that attracts Bitcoin innovators, miners, and investors, enhancing the US role as a cryptocurrency superpower. Should Trump's vision materialize, it could also prompt other nations to emulate aspects of US policy, particularly in areas where individuals seek financial sovereignty and investment freedom. This influence through indirect leadership could redefine America's influence, offering an alternative to nations and individuals wary of centralized digital assets. The bottom line: could a Trump Bitcoin vision be the dawn of a new financial era? Trump's proposed policies mark a striking departure from the current trajectory of digital currency. A national strategic Bitcoin reserve and a ban on CBDCs represent a bold experiment in currency sovereignty, one that underscores the shifting dynamics of global financial power and the emerging role of digital assets in wealth preservation. The potential impact of Trump's policies could be far-reaching, heralding a new financial era defined by decentralized assets, self-custody, and a revaluation of global currencies. If Bitcoin achieves the prominence Trump envisions, it transforms the US financial landscape and prompts a broader GCR and RV worldwide, altering the way individuals, governments, and institutions view and interact with currency. In a world increasingly reliant on digital financial systems, the Trump Bitcoin vision offers an alternative path, one in which individual freedom, asset sovereignty, and decentralized currency form the foundation of a new economic paradigm. Whether this vision will come to fruition remains uncertain, but it undeniably places Bitcoin at the forefront of America's evolving economic identity, positioning the US as a potential leader in the global shift toward cryptocurrency-backed stability. Listen to the full version on the official dinarreport.com website and become our supporter on Patreon. Source: dinarrecaps.com